Welcome to the Marvel Cinematic University podcast. I'm your host, Anthony Canton III, and we are here for Teaserville, Trailerville, MCU stuff. We are in 2026, and we are ready to dive headfirst into some MCU stuff, and also a DC thing that might be related to the MCU, but we'll get to that later. But first, I want to get into patreon.com/MCU University Pod, where you get our bonus content, such as our Discord, which we love. I was given a few little nuggets today on Avengers Doomsday. If just a little in the spoilers channel. For those, I always warn people about the spoilers channel. If you go in there, it's gonna be out there. I ain't bracketing nothing. So somebody asked a question, I answered it, and so like a nice little surprise. So you might find a little information there. $3 for that. And of course, all of our bonus content with the subscriber mailbags, the movies that we do on the side. We still have one more Batman movie to do that we will do this month, and appreciate everybody for supporting on that end. If you're watching on YouTube, thank you for subscribing, and thank you for really tuning in to this past episode that we did. Our pal Rod was here. Rod called it the blackest episode in the history of Marvel Cinematic University, and he was correct.
It was a great listen. I was happy I wasn't there because I would have ruined it a couple times.
it was great, and I feel like the viewership turned out for that. So if you're watching this now and you're new to the show and you're saying to yourself, should I subscribe? Go check out that episode and go check out a lot of the stuff that we've done, including all of the Road to Doomsday episodes, because I think they're going to come in handy as we go down the rest of this year. And with that being said, let me introduce the panel first. The super producer, Jake Christie. Jake, how are you?
I'm doing well. I'm excited to be back on the show. I'm excited to be talking about this exciting stuff. I use the word exciting twice, but it's how I am.
Hey, it's totally fine to be excited. I'm excited to be excited. How about that? Twice for me. And also, we introduce our pal. We leave the key under the mat for him every time, and he shows back up. We appreciate him. Rod Morrow, a.k.a. the black guy who tips. Rod, how you doing, sir?
I'm good. I'm just finally, happy to meet in person one of these excited whites. I hear so much about these exciting whites. Now I know the vibes are over here with Jake.
I mean, I said exciting, not. I said excited.
If you say excited twice, you're exciting.
Okay, if you want to call me exciting, I would not call myself an exciting person generally. But if you insist, and yeah, it's nice to meet you. Yeah, and, exciting whites. That's a great meme. It's one of the best memes. It's so simple.
It really is. And the advanced analytics on the blackest episode that you guys ever done, I feel like that's what I was referring to. Just statistically, it's 4 blacks, 0 whites, black. Yes. Conversation about black superheroes. It felt very black to me. It's gonna be hard to top that. I don't even know what you guys can do.
Yes, I feel like that is that was our version of the Illuminati, like in Marvel, like when you get them together for these random. I think this might be something we may revisit in the future. So we'll see about that. But in the meantime, the reason that we're here is so during the run of Avatar, Avengers Doomsday has been releasing teasers. 3 have been officially released. The 4th one got leaked today, which got people very excited. And
I haven't seen.
I want to talk about,
is the leak video or is it just people talking about it?
It's video.
Oh, the leak is video. Leak is video. Full good video and pretty good video, pretty good quality.
Do you still have a link to it? Because I'll send it over to Rod. He can watch it when we're talking about something else.
Yeah, totally fine. 1 second, and whilst we do,
I was just gonna say, because while you're doing that, I think it is. I initially was skeptical of this strategy of them putting out new trailers every new week, and you know what? I was wrong. I think that it actually has completely worked. They've had 4 weeks where people are talking about this movie in different aspects. I was worried that they would. I mean, the decision to only put them in theaters for a week and then put them up officially a week later is like a bit suspect because it is just going to encourage leaks. But also, I don't know. I think on some level, I'm not a conspiracy theorist about this because they are taking down the leaks, but I also think that they're aware the leaks are going to happen, and I think they're taking the leaks down more because they want to encourage people to go to the theaters, not because they're mad that they're getting out. You know what I mean? They're fine with that. And so I think the strategy has worked really well. And yeah, I think it's starting off the strategy I think we've discussed. Where like there's a poker press that I think they're gonna have to slowly divvy things out to make sure that the vibe of the discussion about Doomsday is not about how they're going back to old characters, but how they're desperate, yada yada yada. And in between that cut that you didn't hear, if you're listening, there was a cut in the video. Rod watched the fourth trailer, so just to tie up that storyline.
Of course, and
Yeah.
yeah. So I think with all of these coming out, I think the biggest thing that has occurred to me and has made me wonder initially was like I wondered when it was coming out, like how would it go, how would people feel about it, and to I feel like more than half of people's to no one's like real surprise on this fact, like people are dialed in. I think the thirst and the hunger for good MCU content is always going to be there, and I think until otherwise you got to trust the Russos to bring a good product to the brand. And I feel like what these things have accomplished is exactly that. Got you excited for December, giving you nuggets to think about, because even in these minute and change teasers, like all of them, for the most part, like you think about the rest of what's gonna happen in this movie, there's like 5 million things that we will not know about, a bunch of surprises that we won't know about. So I think just giving these little nuggets has made people generally excited for them. Rod, I want to ask you before we get into like the actual factual of the teasers itself. What have you thought of how they've been releasing them, and how have you just received them generally?
Yeah, not to get all Nick right on it, but never a doubt. Like, I think the Russos and the MCU is just their next miss will be their first miss as
Yeah.
Russo brothers. So, I know people are they're backtracking, but I'm like, I mean, that's like when Michael Jordan said, "I'm back." We can go. The Bulls are backtracking. They really can't find a solution. It's like they're backtracking to the best people to do the thing that they do. Like, yeah, I would like to see them get a crack at it again and see if maybe they can do something with it. And so I thought this
Wait,
was
are you saying that the Birmingham Barons or the Electric State? I'm sorry, continue.
yes, that is exactly what I'm saying. I'm
Oh,
saying they need
Jesus.
to get the hell off of the Netflix team bus and hop back on the PJ for the MCU. um, but yeah, and I also now want to see a video of the Russo brothers in the back of a team bus jamming out to Kenny Lattimore. But at any rate, I wasn't. I thought this was an ambitious like idea, but I think it's the kind of idea that you should be. These are the big moves you should be making when you're Disney and when you're MCU. Like, do something nobody else could afford to do, which is put out 4 trailers for the same movie in a month and be like, yeah, and you're right. I don't think they're killing the leaks because they're like, oh no, um, it's the secret's out. I think they're killing the leaks because they're like, we do this to support theaters. Go see the movie. And they probably contractually are obligated to do that. And, yeah, and then the next week they dropped the trailer for the rest of us nerds that haven't seen it. And yeah, for me they're 4 for 4. And the last thing I'll say is just the paid aggregator rage click people are always going to be there. That's just a thing for the MCU now. And I like when they make moves that do not take those people into account. Take the fans who are enthusiastic, take us into account, do something to make us want to see the movie. Stop doing stuff to try to make those people not shit on the movie because they're never going to come fully around to that. So just let that is a lost cause. I don't want my MCU to become the Snyder verse where it's catering to some people that are purposely trolling. So I got excited every single trailer and more excited each one, which I think was the intent and the way they doled them out. So good job for them.
To your point, I think if anything, these releases have drowned those people out. I feel like you haven't heard like it started that way, because I remember the Steve Rogers thing. The first thing that happened was, "Well, you're taking away from Sam Wilson, and you're doing all this."
No. Over this, I saw Avatar: Fire and Ash in theaters, and people went crazy for the Odyssey. And the Steve Rogers trailer, not a peep. things. One, how often do people react to trailers? And two, I can say, and this is just gonna sound like me bragging, but like I can say statistically, I was in the biggest theater on the East Coast of the United States that was showing Avatar Fire and Ash.
Mhm.
Statistically speaking. I heard a lot of people cheering. The sample size was as big as it could be. There was at least like 60 people who audibly reacted to that trailer in my Avatar theater. And so if I heard that, like, it was just so stupid.
Yeah.
It's also like the way that people are posturing in that way. It's like, I love the Avatar movies. I think they're great. In fact, I think they're better than most of the MCU movies. But you can't be like this dumb MCU shit when you're sitting for fucking Avatar. What the fuck are you doing?
Right.
Yeah, it's kind of
We
crazy.
looked
So
at
like,
our nose at MCU when we were watching Fern Gully 3.
yeah, man. So I think it's great that but besides that first week, I feel like as time has gone on, it just hasn't been that. Been about the celebration. It's been about the intrigue of what this movie could potentially be and what it could look like. But let's get into the first one because it's the one that I've been making the most fun of the Steve Rogers thing. Um, this is I and like part of this is bit, but there is a legit like half side of me that does feel like, wait a minute, this man is getting celebrated for being horny at work, like more so than anybody else in the history of mankind. And he did not, when he went back in time, he did not stop any racism at all. Shame on him. Shame on him. And then he has a baby. I mean, I mean,
can't be fun. We'll say this: we make fun of Tej a lot on the show. Tej's take though, doing this one more thing of you don't fuck at work.
Yes.
Absolutely, he's correct.
Yes.
Tej, there's two correct takes that Tej has: is you don't clap alien cheeks unless you're sure that they won't burn your meat off, and you don't fuck at work. And Steve Rogers did that, and like it's just insane that he's like breaking the fabric of the universe to fuck at work.
Yes.
like
yes. That's why Doom coming after his ass. Like that's what's gonna happen.
I will say this one. If the other trailers were as exciting as this one, I would be less excited. I think that this is definitely the worst of the four, which I think is interesting. I get why they did it first because it is Steve Rogers, but
yeah,
like,
they
the
just
other ones
needed
definitely
people just needed to see him because they had them folks. They put the influencers on the video, like they recorded them, and Marvel put it out that they had them watching the teaser, and everybody was having like tears and stuff seeing Steve Rogers on the screen for the first time. And I understand, like, Steve Rogers, iconic character, MCU and all that other stuff. So all you need to do is put him there and people are going to react. So to your point, Jake, like as far as that's concerned, it was nice to have the just see him and look forward to seeing what type of iteration this is going to be and how that fits with Doom. But Rob, what did you think?
Well, a couple of things. I'm a love over everything person. Like it's one of the reasons I'm not against Doctor Strange. I think his origin story makes some of the most sense. Because like if I gotta live on this earth without Bay, the fuck is the purpose of the rest of y'all? Like who cares what's happening? I'm the main character of my life. And I like that Steve went back like that. I also feel like it also left a message of Steve Rogers can defeat Hydra, but he doesn't see a world where he could defeat racism. Like he's like, yeah. And you know what? Point for Steve Rogers. I'm living through it, buddy. You're right. You know what? Don't even bother, man. Go ahead and raise your anti-racist child. That's the best you got for us. And lastly, I do feel like the reason it went first is because it was the one that felt the most predictable and the most like comforting in a way as well, right? Like, oh, they can still get these guys back who are stars of the MCU and stars in real life. And this is familiar to all of us, and it reminds us of a time when we were looking forward to MCU movies. Steve Rogers has never been in a bad Captain America film. So and that's the Russo's bread and butter. So like it just hit all the like, if you know, like you're in good hands. Guys, we got this. We don't worry. That's what that hit me with. And I was like, yes, yeah, because y'all got the pull. Y'all, okay, let's go. And yeah, so that's how I felt after the first one. Even if it was kind of predictable they do that. I'm glad they did it.
Yes, and I feel like the second one with Thor kind of advance the stakes of the movie a decent bit with basically him monologuing about seemingly at this point um Thor was in the what looked like kind of like the Infinity War garb with the short
Mhm.
haircut and kneeling with Stormbreaker talking about please just make sure I make it back from this battle to my daughter and not to teach her about battle but to teach her about stillness. And I was
Mm.
like, "Oh, excuse me. I feel very moved by this." And also, what the hell did Doctor Doom do to them by that point? Because, like, dog, if you got Thor praying and begging,
Right.
good lord, what is going on? And that's the one. That's like that second one to me. Like, okay, the emotions kind of came out, and you're like, "Oh, you felt that one for real, for
Chris
sure."
was acting, and that's another big important one because he's a dude that was acting like he was never putting the tights back on. Like they went like everyone forgets that they had that like end game, and then all these actors went to go do their pet projects. There was a lot of Hollywood pressure from their peers to act like they were, I don't know, slumming with Marvel.
Yeah,
Like you should be ashamed to be in these movies. There's a lot of that, and so I think they reacted to the pressure of like, oh well, now I'm gonna be a thespian again. Don't worry, I'm gonna do independent. And a lot of those things failed, or they did them and they didn't take off the way that they thought, or whatever happened, right? Or they found new franchises like ScarJo did. But at the end of the day, like there was a time where it felt like the peer pressure was against them being in these movies. So it does mean something that two of the biggest people that were acting like they were kind of over this part of their career are back to be like this, and seeing Chris give you something we ain't seen
yeah,
since since Endgame. We have
yeah,
not seen him deliver an emotional like monologue of depth that wasn't just like fart jokes, fatness, or comic relief. Like
yeah.
I was like, man, dude, once again, they knew where to go to make me be like, the Russos, they know where to take the characters. We're back in good hands.
Yeah, cooking with fish grease. How about you,
I
Jay?
think a specific thing I want to slightly correct with Chris Hemsworth though is because I
Mm,
think if you I didn't end up watching the documentary, but one of the
mm,
reasons he stepped back is because he did this whole documentary about his health, and he basically learned that he is at an extremely high risk of getting Alzheimer's. He probably will develop Alzheimer's sometime fairly early in his life, and so he was like, I don't know if I want
I
to keep
remember
spending my
this.
time away from my
Yes.
family. Like
right.
I want to make sure I want to put him in a slightly separate category because
Of
if he
course.
said I don't want to be doing crazy action movies across the globe, I'm like, absolutely, you don't know when you're gonna lose yourself, right?
Yeah.
Hmm.
But I think that that's why it's significant that I joked, but I think it's also somewhat true, that part of this trailer was to remind people that yes, he canonically is raising Gore's daughter at the end of Love and Thunder.
Hmm.
But I think that that's notable for Chris Hemsworth because, of course, Gore's daughter in the film and in the new one is played by Chris Hemsworth's actual daughter. And so I can imagine that that might be like a selling point of like, hey, we get it. You don't want to waste your time that you still have, being away from your
Mm,
family. But if your family's going to be here playing these characters, so that maybe I enjoyed that. I think that
right.
Yeah.
it's easy to clown. I clowned on the fact that they gave him that daughter because like it definitely feels like a decision that was made being like, oh, we cast your real life daughter as the girl, wouldn't it be fun and sweet if at the end of the movie you were raising her? But also
Mm,
like it is fun and sweet, and I do like that. And I think also they did really run out of stories to tell with Thor. Once
hmm.
Jane's gone off the board, I think that they
Mhm.
did create the opportunity of like losing um what his purpose is. And
Mm,
I do like the idea that he's gonna have a purpose that is uncharted for him, and that that it is kind of cheesy to be like, now this character's gonna find meaning because they're raising a child. But I don't I AC, I think you can attest to it. You find meaning when you raise children. So I think that
Yeah.
I think it's
yeah.
actually it's nice. And it's not I don't think they're gonna be expecting India Rose Hemsworth to be doing heavy lifting acting. Although maybe I
Mhm.
mean both her parents are actors, so maybe she's good.
You never
But
know.
you
Yeah.
never know. Honestly, I should take that back because, like, yeah,
Yeah.
if both my parents were actors, I'd probably be pretty good at acting.
Yeah.
But
And if she
no, I
got
think
it, that's like a good fastball to throw at the audience if she got it, because nobody will see it
mm,
coming. And then bam,
mm-hmm,
it's like, oh, she can act for real. They gave us like a real scene with a father and daughter,
yep,
and it felt like
yeah,
something more than a comic book movie.
yeah. And like I said, I do like seeing him in serious mode again. And I think the thing that he has, both because he's a god and because Chris Hemsworth has that deep register he can go into, is he can really his voice is so good
Yeah.
at expressing the gravity of a situation.
Yeah.
Like that thing that he can do so much better. It's like the gods are doing this. Like oh, he like this is like real. Like this is, and that trailer was like the first teaser. Obviously, was about just. I think you might have the first teaser too as well. That Chris Evans was not on the chairs, so like it was
Right.
a surprise that he's back. But this is like oh, right. We need to establish that this is a end of the universe level threat, and you give Chris Hemsworth a couple seconds to do a gravelly monologue. You're like, yeah, this is serious.
Yes, 1000%.
And let me add a couple more things. It can
Sure.
This could be back to the MCU doing something that I love about the MCU, which is taking something that was shitty to me and then making it matter later and then making it less shitty in my brain retroactively. They're very good at that. There's several movies where I was like, I did not enjoy that. And then they do some shit 10 years later and you're like, oh yeah, because Thor lost his mama. And that's why it was a dark world. Like, so like maybe they could do something. Yeah, like they were able to fucking hit me with the member berries, right? And the other part of it too is I have to gently push back, gently with respect to Chris Hemsworth, but he did a lot of movies after he said that shit. And
that is true.
They weren't MCU movies. It's like you're spending time away from your family doing other movies that aren't Love and Thunder.
I remember that joint that came out on Netflix with some special
Extraction. He's like three. Yeah. There's like 3 extractions. There's like a movie he was in because his like wife was in a movie or something. Like it's a few things he did.
Furiosa. He's great in Furiosa.
He's amazing.
And that filmed in Australia, so I give him a pass.
Right? Yeah. I'm just saying.
His wife was also in that one, so I'm like, okay, that was a family affair.
Yeah, like I'm not shitting on him, but it felt like you can make it. Come on, Chris. Make another excuse. So I'm glad he's back, man. That meant a lot. That, like I said, getting the gang back means a lot because the Russos, man, it's just an underrated skill set. It's an underrated skill set at this point. Everyone thinks it's really easy. It's actually probably the hardest thing to do, which is to cherry pick other people's work, get the tone and the center of the character right, and in limited time. It's, you know what I mean? It's the reason Mike Brown's a better coach than Thibs. Like, he can find a way to be like, nah, I can put Kolek in the game for 20 minutes and y'all are going to think this is a whole different team than if I just run this shit to this other guy.
Kolek's got to come in to help against Doom. He could give a couple good minutes.
He got a couple minutes in him. He got a couple minutes in him.
And that's why, like, I think, people forget, like, Infinity War was such an achievement because you had to think, like, how are they going to get all these people and make it make sense? And they had the right people together. They had the right amount of screen time. Like, it just all worked so seamlessly. It was shocking. I remember watching it in the movie like, yo, this thing just moves. So when you see this, it's like they already have the handle on it. And now, like, we're going deep into the roster. So, like, we're playing everybody, even dudes. We bringing dudes back from the 80s, 90s, and stuff like that. So, like, it's gonna be so crazy to see some of these combinations on screen. And speaking of bringing back some old folks, we got the third teaser with the X-Men, and man,
this is the heat. This is the heat.
This was the one where I was like, okay, I love the dialogue. I love we see Xavier and Magneto. That was wonderful to see them and them having that wonderful little monologue about being prepared to die and all that other stuff. And then we get fucking comic suit accurate Cyclops with a Sentinel walking in the background. At the tail end of that, boys, let me tell you, that was a levitation moment for your boy. My goodness gracious.
Yeah, dog. It was like the X-Men finally over here with the big dogs where they belong. And like, honestly, this is something that Marvel doesn't get enough credit for, but the patience with the X-Men has actually been outstanding because when they got that property, I think everyone's like, how many years have people been predicting like next movie the X-Men? The X-Men are gonna be this, but they've really slow rolled these X-Men. They know what they got. You know, X-Men 97 clearly is like a different thing than MCU, but we got a little teaser at the end of the Marvels. Very little teaser. Other than that, man, they've really played it cool. Like just little mentions of, if anything, the clunkiness has come from when they've mentioned stuff about the X-Men without showing them. That's the clunkiest shit they have is like there's adamantium. It's like, well, is Wolverine showing up there? Who gives a fuck? But Deadpool and Wolverine was excellent to me. So like that's to me the next foray into the X-Men. And then bam, this shit. I mean, just the iconic imagery of the trailer. I mean, the Gray Mountain Estate, like just like Xavier Institute just crumbled in the background, smoking or some shit. Cyclops shooting fucking red into the goddamn sky like a cover of a comic book. Sentinel in the background, dude. And you know, I said this last time I was on. I just want to say it again because if I'm right, I'm gonna feel like the smartest person on earth, and if I'm wrong, we'll all forget about it because it's been so long. But man, if fucking Doom is coming for their babies, man, Cyclops' baby he either got Nathan or Hope, and both of them are like super level mega mutants, like the most powerful mutant beings in the world. If he comes from like Reed Richards' baby, Franklin, and you know maybe Hope or something, like if he's coming for these powerful babies, I feel like that's an end of existence type of stakes that is big, that is just as big to those characters as you ending the world. Is if you take my baby, you might as well end the world. And I don't know that they're gonna do that, but if they do that, that to me that's how you introduce Doom as a super threat immediately.
Yeah, the story conceit itself just lends to, with Franklin being as powerful as he is, this feels like Doom knows that the incursions are happening and all these worlds are collapsing and this is going to be it. I need all of these particular people so I could create my own particular world that I rule on my own. And that seems like and that is the stakes for all of these characters on all of these Earths. And that gets to the crux of seeing I'm guessing X-Men and Avengers kind of interacting in what type of way that they do with the Fantastic Four involved and all of that stuff. And it just creates such a level of excitement and intrigue for it that we now get this but Jake, I should let you add your thoughts on this X-Men.
I mean, I don't have anything crazy to say except that it's always incredible to see Patrick Stewart and Ian McKellen, even though Ian McKellen is almost 90.
#Watch Agenda.
And they just need to let him. This needs to be the last time he plays this character. We can't. I saw a report he's going to be back as Gandalf for a Lord of the Rings spinoff movie. I'm like,
I saw that too.
God.
I don't need that.
I was like, what are they going to possibly? Are they going to CGI all of him?
I don't know. Rest, my friend.
Right.
But I think the big thing for me is just like, I think it's a really smart choice that they went with Cyclops. The easy thing to do would be like a Wolverine scene because people love Wolverine,
right?
And I think it's like, no, we're gonna go with Cyclops because Cyclops is the character that everyone is like, we fucked up. He's not good in the movies. Like, and to just like be like, we're gonna. It's like a signal of like the take that everyone on my timeline had about it was, oh, they're doing it right. They're doing it right. They're doing it right. And so, you know, that's because obviously what they're trying to do is they're trying to honor these characters that they had, that people have a relationship to, and these actors playing these characters, but they also do want to fix the mistakes. And so,
yes,
yeah,
give them a proper send off before Doom sends them all to yonder. So, so
they did. As soon as they started talking about death, I was like, yeah, y'all definitely gotta die.
Be like slow singing and flower bringing, boys.
Yeah, especially when they didn't have the like James McAvoy like Xavier. I was like, yeah, y'all gotta die.
It's about to be a wrap for those folks. So, quickly. I'm gonna give spoiler warnings for this. Spoiler warnings right now. If you haven't seen the 4th teaser, just skip ahead for just a few minutes, and spoiler warning have been given. So what we saw that came out today was the Wakandans, and what's fun about this, and some people I saw every reaction, most of it was very positive. The few dissenters were amongst, well, this doesn't really, this really doesn't really do anything. I will just say this simply put: you put characters that have never interacted before on the screen, you gonna get, when I see fucking Ben Grimm and M'Baku having an introduction, that's all you need for me. I ain't need nothing else. But then on top of that, you get Shuri talking about like the king got to prepare folks for the afterlife. What the fuck happened? What? Oh
Mhm.
my god! And then you got Namor in the background looking like he plotting some shit. Like he has some ideas of how he wants to break this alliance at some point.
Mm.
And that was just fun. So like I love the idea that we get the Fantastic Four involved with the Wakandans. Great to see Shuri, great to see M'Baku, great to see Namor, and great to see Ben. So like that was fun. It was fun. It got me even more excited for the movie that I was already excited for. So Rod, what say you when you saw this a few minutes ago?
So I just watched it, and I had to watch a little bit on mute, a little bit on loud. But um, is Namor with them? Like, cause he looked
Nam-
like he was with them, like they were together or something. Like when they showed him, like maybe he's in the ship too or something.
Namor
And
has an alliance with the Wakandans currently,
okay,
but
so that's huge to me. You know what I mean? Like
yeah.
what threat could bring these motherfuckers that clearly hate each other's guts together to work together in any capacity? Like even if they betray each other, it's something was bad enough that they felt the need to try to work together or whatever. And I thought that was huge, man. So like when they panned over to him and I was like, whoa.
Yeah, he's rocking the garb. He's rocking the colors. I'm like, okay.
I said, hey, I don't know what what Doom must be him because every people we've seen people hang out together that's never hung out before. And yeah, I'm M'Baku of Wakanda and I'm Ben Grimm of Yancey
The
Street
king of
Queens.
Wakanda, by the way. He's the
Yeah,
king. Yeah, so
yeah.
that
And so yeah, I'm excited for all that. And plus, man, honestly, dude, I am so glad. And I know this is probably the most controversial thing to say, but I don't want them to rush this T'Challa thing. I don't need that. I like Shuri's a great character. She's a great Black
yeah.
Panther. I'm not saying you can't have a T'Challa of some type come back, but I don't want it to act like that movie didn't exist, which feels like a lot of people's solution would be essentially to erase Black Panther 2. And we just start with like, I don't know, Damson Idris or somebody being Black T'Challa, and we're just acting like sure like no story needs to take place or you know what I mean. And I'm
Yeah.
glad that the Russos aren't gonna fuck that up. And it made me feel like with the vibes and the music, like they 100% respect and consulted Coogler and the use of these characters. It felt respectful. It didn't feel like, oh man, it'll just be cool, we'll remind people how much they like Black Panther. It didn't feel like that.
Yes. Before Jake goes, Rod, I have a question for you.
Yeah.
Do you think Damson Idris lost a few cool points with the shirt that he was wearing?
Man, that's got to be AI. It's got to be fake. There's no
It's
way.
gotta be right.
I went to his Instagram to look, by the way, and I could not find that in his stories, and I couldn't find that picture. And dude, you know how much of a panic I had? I googled Damson Idris Pog Damson Idris t-shirt. I was like, bro, don't do this to me. I can't
People
defend
were
this.
reacting today, and I was like,
Okay.
I don't know if that's real.
You never go full Joshua Henderson, dude. You never go full sellout for the. So I was 100% sure it was fake, but I haven't seen anything to confirm it being real. But
No, I'm looking at
man,
it.
that
I
scared me.
see. I don't see any like news outlets that I consider reputable
Right.
Yes, yes,
reporting on
yes.
it. I do
I
see a
don't think
Threads
he would do
post.
that.
I see a Threads post from an account called Here ASAP that says that black women are upset at actor Damson Idris for wearing a Pog shirt. We all know Pogs is an acronym for fat ass white girls.
Yes.
Damson Idris is # Nigerian.
Oh no, man. Oh no.
Well, I thought it was just about one actor, but they're trying to make it about
Tariq Nasheed
more
and
than
them
that.
Tariq Nasheed and the FBA boys done tried to bring the beef to the white folks, man. Don't do this. Don't have this interracial conversation in front of the white people, man. Don't do this. Nigerian. That's so
great,
fucked
man.
up.
Oh my god, Jesus. Jake, what did you think of this teaser?
I mean, I think that as we discussed, I think the big thing it does is just like remind because the thing that the previous three just did is introduce characters in situations we know them to be in. This
Yes.
reminded, like, right, the point of this movie is that these characters all interact and they have relationships. And actually, I look back for the tweet that I sent. I remember I sent this from the theater after I saw Endgame. And this is the thing I always go back to whenever I think about the Russo brothers. Is in 30 years, when every film is part of an extended universe, only then will we appreciate the monumental feat that the Russo brothers accomplished with Infinity War and Endgame. And I think that is a thing I stand by, as much as critical as I've been of their two recent efforts in filmmaking. I just trust them to make the scenes where they have these characters like that's why you go to this movie.
Yeah.
Like,
Right.
I'm excited to see these characters come back, but I'm excited to see them interact with each other. Like, it's not what I want all movie making to be, but on some level it is fun just to be like, I'm gonna take my Spider-Man toy and he's gonna fight with my Wolverine toy. Like, that's just like, that's fun to see that given a huge budget. And like, the Russos just, I think, understand really well how to like that little comedy moment where M'Baku introduced himself as the king of Wakanda, and Ben introduced himself as being from what the Grand between Broom and Yancey.
Yeah.
Like, that is like, that's exactly what it would be, and that's, such a perfect little joke. And I'm excited to see that got me excited, not just for those interactions, but like, right, we're gonna get so many different moments of these interactions. That's what's so fun about this. And so yeah, that's what that one got me excited for.
Yeah, and I mean, when you talk about like interactions, like I think of the new characters. I mean, a lot of the old characters like getting involved. Like, I mean, I'm assuming that Hugh's in the movie. So like, if Hugh's in the movie, who he gonna run into? So whoever he runs into is gonna be a big deal. So all of this stuff is gonna be a big deal. So just the ages and the eras, like combining them all, is gonna be so special across these two movies. So it's going to be very exciting for sure.
I think also this was them showing they got some new toys too. Cause
Yeah.
like pulling out the Ben Grimm, it's like, oh, we never seen the Ben Grimm play with what the Russos gonna do with that one. You know what I mean? So
Yeah.
like, and like some of these characters, while they're old, it's just capturing the vibes, man. Like Namor to me is one of the best parts about the MCU. I feel like it doesn't. We were mourning. It's a sad movie and it's a tough movie, but God,
But
he was a cool villain.
his intro was fantastic.
He was so cool. And
Absolutely
bro,
fantastic.
and when them little feats when he was flying at the end and he was
Yeah.
whooping everybody's ass, he was a problem. I was like, bro, what are they gonna do? Like the third act of that film, I'm like, I don't know. Does Shuri have enough of that dog in her to fuck with this fish man? Because the fish man is wiping them out. So like, I want to see them
And that's
play
what
with those toys.
remember, that's what he's holding. Like they told him, his folks told him, like there is no way that you can ally yourself with this person. He said, just wait.
Yep,
Just wait.
he
You're
did.
gonna do it for now. It's just for
Bruh.
now. That's why like he looked like in that he was
Didn't
like
he?
straight up, I'm plotting. I
He
got
was-
ideas.
He was plotting.
I
And the
got
thing
my
is,
own ideas.
he's
Yeah.
a way more internal character than so many of the MCU characters.
Right.
Like, he has a stillness and like a single-mindedness that, like, that's something you notice about the bits where he, they invade Wakanda and he's, killing these people. Like, he's not in a
Right.
blind rage. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Like, he's super calculated and super. He believes in like what he's doing. Like he has an actual belief in what he's doing is right, and not in like a I'm a zealot way. In like a no, I'm doing what's best for my people.
Yep.
And so like I'm sure that he thinks that he'll make an alliance if he think it'll be best for his people. He won't feel good about it, but he doesn't make decisions based on what feels good. But also, if he thinks that the alliance will be bad for his people at any moment, he's
Right.
not going to hesitate to break it. And so I think that makes him like a sort of unique character in the MCU, where people are so hard because it's big, broad stories. They're generally so hard on sleeve. They're generally more erratic or like
Right.
more guided exclusively by more general morality. Where he's like, no, my job is to protect my people. You know,
Yeah.
they call me Kul Khan. You know,
Yes.
Yeah.
No, you're
And
right.
he's
No,
he's not a
1000%, yeah.
monologuer either. Like he's not a give a big speech. He's a whoop your ass. And like I already had decided this before I got off the plane that I was gonna whoop your ass, and it didn't matter if you understood why or not. That's not the movie. I'm not in your movie. You're in mine. And
Yeah.
I like that about that character. And yeah, he's and unlike a lot of villains or anti-heroes that become villains in the Marvel universe, they always just make them go a step too far ideologically. And I feel like he wasn't actually that far away from Shuri. He just fucked
Yeah.
with Wakanda, and then she was like, "Well, that's unacceptable." But like the general idea of him being like, "Yeah, so colonizers got to go." Shuri's like, "Well, we're in Wakanda. It ain't got nothing to do with us." Like, oh, you want to
Yeah.
you want to smoke with us? Well, that's different. No, I can't let that happen. So yeah, I imagine a world where they would work together as an uneasy allies, and and I think the other thing this trailer did is the stuff they're not showing, right? Like this
Yeah.
wasn't showing like T'Challa Jr. This wasn't
Right.
trying to reassure everybody like, let's step on Ryan Coogler's toes and tell you where that story's going. It was just like, no, these are cool characters and they're uniting to fight against something that's even more dangerous than you can perceive. And yeah, in the meantime, we'll be telling stories in their movies with these other directors, and that you'll be excited after you see this to want to return to Wakanda and to want to return to like Fantastic Four and all that stuff.
Yeah, and Ryan Coogler's working on Black Panther 3 now, so that's something that we can all look forward to. And I'm sure whenever he comes up with that story and that idea, he'll have it in a way where I think most folks will be satisfied with it, in my opinion. So I'm looking forward to when that happens. But in the meantime, like as far as this story is concerned, I just think there's so many things on the table with this. And assuming this is the last teaser before the actual trailer, by the way, there's going to be an actual trailer of this movie at the Super Bowl. So this
Can't
is
wait.
that'll be the big day. So like all this kind of like leading up to that will be extremely fun to be back in that mode as an MCU fan where you just have stuff to look forward to and it's not weighed down by people going on and on about what's wrong with it as opposed to just
Do
being
y'all
excited about.
remember
Yeah.
do y'all remember the first time you saw the Avengers trailer during the Super Bowl? The first one?
The first
Like
one, yes.
the first Avengers
no,
trailer.
honestly, I don't actually.
I remember that, dude. I remember like where I was. Like, cause that was the one where they show like Iron Man landing from falling down and like Hulk catching him. And that
Yes.
like ends the trailer. And I was like, what the fuck? What was that? Like
How did we get
you'll
here?
never get
Yeah.
that again, but I want to feel that like I want to feel like things are big like that. And I think a Super Bowl trailer is a way to make you feel like, oh, Marvel's back and Marvel's big again.
Yeah.
Yes, and most certainly is, and as we go, we'll keep on doing the Road to Doomsday episodes.
I do. You
and
mentioned
stuff
Ryan
like-
Coogler and Black Panther 3. I just want to
Yeah.
relay an anecdote I heard from an interview he did. I
Sure.
really appreciated because he, Josh Horowitz of MTV News, who I think does really good interviews because he'll like ask the honest questions. And what he asked was like, I'm sure a lot of people in the industry are like, you can do whatever you want after Sinners. Why do you want to go back to Black Panther 3? And he's like, and I just want to note, I want the stenographer to note, is taking all my effort to not do an impression of Ryan Coogler. He said that, no, this is what I want to do. I want to tell these stories. I'm not doing this. This is not because like of a favor. This is not because I always like, no, it's because I want to tell. There's a story I want to tell. And that got me really excited because I'm like, because I even said after Sinners, I'm like, Ryan Coogler should not do Black Panther 3 next. That's a bad career move. But you know what? He's right. He's like, no, I want to do it because I want to do it. And so that made me excited. It's like, all right, this is not an afterthought. This is like,
I think that's always the most underrated part of the like this is it's why I come here to talk to you guys and I don't talk to anybody else is there's this idea because we've made everything either political or polarized that like there's an either or for all these actors and directors and stuff. And I think a lot of them are like us. Like if you told if you told Dave Filoni like you're gonna get to make Star Wars shit, he's like, for the rest of my life, what? Yeah, I
Yeah.
want to do that. Well, some people won't respect like your art house. Okay, like I'm making Star Wars, dude. You know what I would be doing if I wasn't making Star Wars? Trying to create an IP that will become the next Star Wars. So
No,
this, like,
that's to be running a failed boutique hat shop. Don't be stupid.
well, of course Dave would be doing. Well, I mean, and that you can do both. How you gonna get the money
David
to
and
fail at
Dan Hat.
hats? How you gonna get the
That's true.
money? But yeah, so I like that when these people remind you of like, yo, I liked Spider-Man, or like
Yeah.
I was a kid and I was like putting on the mask and now I get to be Spider-Man. So yeah, I'm gonna keep signing up to do Spider-Man movies. And in between I'll do other shit that y'all won't go see and it'll be streaming in 3 weeks. And maybe I win an Oscar, maybe I won't. But yeah, I love that. And did y'all also see where Ryan Coogler talked about the plot that he had to basically get rid of for Black Panther
Yes.
2?
I had heard that. That's a great story. That's an incredible story.
Man.
Unfortunately, we didn't get to get that.
Bro,
Man.
it really puts Black Panther 2 in such perspective of like, man, they really like once again, I feel like the heavy lifting of having to make that movie and getting what they got out of it is just a Herculean feat. It's honestly amazing they were able to be thrown a curveball like that in real life and still put something together that resemble anything close to a good movie.
And
Yeah.
I get why people don't want to revisit it because it reminds them of
Yeah,
the
it's very
sadness of
sad.
Chadwick passing. But I think that that's like a testament to the movie because like the movie is an actual meditation on grief in a way that feels completely real.
Right.
And like I think a lot of people are like, I really don't like that movie that in hindsight because like it was all, but I'm like, no man, like this is a superhero movie where people are in vibranium tights and they made it a real meditation on grief. Like, I'm sorry, you should be over the moon that can exist. Like, yeah, it doesn't serve the same purpose as a romp in the MCU, but like people talk all the time about how like, these stories are so versatile. It's like, this is, it was able to accomplish it for both the people who made the movie and people who are watching the movie.
Yes.
I mean, that's not nothing. And I think that I do kind of not like people like kind of, I get what they mean when they kind of yada yada. It's like, well, I don't really watch the movie because it makes me sad. It's like, I get that, but like that kind of thing like sells short how incredible an achievement it is. And honestly, it's a really watchable movie. Like it's not a movie that's
very
like,
watchable.
There's a version of that movie that is like really not like, it is kind of messy and you're like, you know what, but it was so raw and real because of Chadwick. It's like, no, Ron Coogler is just like actually like one of the most talented propulsive filmmakers alive. So it's like, it's still a propulsive, enjoyable watch.
Yeah, there's not a lot of people who could have done what he did, and also I think sometimes it's a testament to the movie that it's hard to watch because it means it feels real. You know what I mean? Like things that don't. There's only 2 types of movies that's hard to watch, right? Movies that are so shitty you just can't watch them, and then movies that are so visceral that you're like, I don't think I can do that twice or whatever. It's like Uncut Gems is one of those movies where I'm like, one was enough. I don't need to be stressed out over this man's life ever again. That motherfucker had me on the edge of my seat sweating because he couldn't stop gambling over shit. Kevin Garnett could not make me watch it twice, but I'll watch his scenes twice,
Oh my goodness. But yeah, I think no, great points by both of you as far as Wakanda Forever is concerned. I mean, I just think, just generally speaking, like the way that the baton was passed in that film from Ramonda to Namor to Shuri, I just think was a really a testament to how well thought out the film was. For something when you had a completely different story, for them to do that, and to Jake's point also, like the examination of how Shuri didn't want to deal with her grief, and then it turned into anger, and it turned into that other stuff. So like that, and her eventually coming to the same place that T'Challa was in Civil War, in terms of like deciding what to do. Should I kill this person, or should I, make the hero's choice? And that, to me, them finding a way to get there regardless was just incredible stuff. So for me, like, every so often I will go and watch that movie. Like, it's very sad, it's very tough, but also there's a lot of good in it. Like the Namor intro, him explaining the tallow can and all that stuff was a lot of fun. I think that character is a really good character, and I'm excited that we get to see them all again. So
Yep.
that's going to be great for sure. And as we move forward, there was another trailer that was Marvel Television
Mm-hmm.
that occurred in the past few days, and that was the Wonderman trailer. There's been a lot of discussion about how this movie has been marketed or not marketed. I'll just say this before we get into the trailer itself. I feel like, from the standpoint, they've definitely upped it
Yeah.
as time has gone along to this. The the one argument that I'll continue to make against it, generally speaking, is why are we making this a binge drop instead of having it week to week? And to me, if you can't give me a great answer on that, then I'm always going to tell you that then you're not necessarily believing in this to the degree that you should, especially because, to be quite honest, this looks incredibly intriguing to
Mhm.
me. So,
It's kind it's
yeah,
always
go,
kind of
go ahead,
weird
Rob.
though. It's weird how far we've come with streaming, right? Because
Yeah,
there used to be a time where dropping something as a binge meant you really believed in it.
Yep.
yes,
That was the like, hey, we not even trying to make you pay for 8 weeks of nah.
Uh-huh.
This shit's so good, you gonna be sticking around because we the ones who drop shit like this.
See,
And now we've completely reversed polarity where we're like, why you giving me all of it at the same time? What's wrong with it?
I mean, it's if he did not serially grope people, Kevin Spacey's biggest crime would be making the binge model popular. That's a joke I shouldn't have made. But no, because House of Cards really was like the first big one that they did that
Right.
with,
Mhm.
and I think like the thing about it is I think it works if it's like one or two shows doing that. Or it's like, oh
Right.
shit, we're gonna do this over a weekend. I think like what happened is with like when it was just like House of Cards, it's like, oh shit, they're doing 12 episodes on a Thursday. I'm gonna spend the whole weekend binging it. The
Right.
problem is, if
Yeah.
there are 20 shows that you watch that do a binge release, are you really gonna give up 20 of your weekends to binge
Right.
it? Like it's just like it's not a and so I agree with what you're saying that it did change, but I think it changed
Yeah.
because I think it also changed because like there are some TV shows that just are not as conducive to it. And
Right.
like, you know,
I also
some
just
shows
remember how angry people got the first times they were like, "Yeah, we're gonna do this one week to week." It was like,
yeah.
What you mean week to week? That's
Yeah, I
that's
want
not what the
I
deal
want all my
was.
shit now.
I
Yeah, yeah,
want
yeah,
all
yeah.
of it. I remember people getting mad when they went to parts where it was like part 1 of Caesar 2. It's
Well,
like,
I
nah.
think that's bullshit. Either
Yeah.
go one way or the other. I think that's bullshit.
Yeah, but I mean, it's funny. I think the real
Yeah.
answer to all of this stuff is I don't think it's necessarily faith or not faith in each product.
No.
They've just bought too much shit. They have bought too much stuff. We're not supposed to
Mhm.
have this much content in this many places
Yeah.
all at the same time. It would be fine if the only streaming service I had was Disney Plus. Then yeah, put something new out every week. But the competition is ridiculous at this point. And when they don't when they don't feel strongly about something, I think they're just like, yeah, they'll find it or they won't. You know what I
Yeah,
mean?
they'll
Like if
get they'll
like
get through it.
they would love for this thing to break records, critically acclaimed, lots of discussion, get awards. They'd act like they did this all on purpose. You know, like, oh yeah, of course, man, fucking Wonderman, just like we planned it. That's what they're hoping. And I think the last time that they believed in something, and then I was like, I wish you didn't believe in this, was Secret Invasion. Like,
Yep.
I was like, why couldn't you not believe in this? You should have binge dropped this bullshit immediately.
I also think
Which is
from
where
a
we
practical standpoint, it was Wonder Man's 8
Mhm.
episodes, right?
Yeah, Wonder Man's 8 episodes,
So
yeah.
if it was a weekly model, like they'd still be having to be advertising it into like March. And like just from a practical standpoint, I think that Disney is a company that has a limited amount of resources of what they can advertise for. And like I think there's probably the calculation of like, do we want to be doing a full court press on a Marvel show until March? Now I can disagree with that decision if I want, but I think it
Mhm.
probably has more to do with marketing than does to do with anything else. But I don't know. For me, I think that like once it comes out, I don't need to talk that much about the marketing or these decisions because like I'm just excited to see it and to talk about it. You know,
Same.
it's gonna be good, and like I'm trying to be better at like not trying to because I think I've just gotten tired of it in every sphere is
Mhm.
people who are experts or who are really engaged in something and feeling the need to like perpetually put on the hat of someone who's not that engaged and try to speak for them. It's
Mhm.
like I can do that from like a standpoint of like understanding why something's successful and not successful. But when we're going to talk about Wonderman, I'm not interested in thinking about the perspective of someone who is kind of doesn't like the binge. Like I'm gonna watch all the episodes of it. So like I fuck it. You know, like I'm gonna like it or I'm not gonna like it.
And the
And
job,
so yeah,
the job that is the most important is the one they did do, which is the one I was worried
Yeah.
about. But the trailer was good. That's
yeah.
the most
Yes.
important part that you can do, because we've all seen trailers where we were like, yeah, I don't know. And this joint, I was leaning forward like, oh, and I was actually excited because I was like, the place I saw it was like Monday Night Football or Sunday Night Football, and to me, that's
Yeah.
a slot of we do want people to know about it. That's not a, you know, you log in at Twitter and it's one of the algorithm ads or something. This was a, hey man, people are going to be watching the end of the NFL season. They're gonna want
I
to.
mean,
They're gonna watch this commercial.
my super dorky thing I loved is that Trevor Slattery did an interview with Turner Classic Movies' Ben Mankiewicz, in which he walked off when he was being asked questions about the Mandarin. I'm like, my thought when I watched it, I'm like, I don't know who this is going to convince to watch the show. Like, I'm already going to watch it.
Yeah.
This
Right.
feels like it's for me. I like that. I
Right.
like being catered to,
It's
but
very
I'm
meta.
like, this is
Very
odd.
meta.
I'm surprised that did they have a Jay Christie column in their budget?
Yes.
Yeah,
Yes.
I really enjoyed the trailer. I enjoy the conceit and the idea of what this character could be, and how you could kind of put him in, and seemingly more so than anything else, what they've decided to add in terms of what I think is going to be an ongoing MCU storyline that's going to become bigger and bigger as it goes along, because the whole um you can't have superpowers and be an actor part, that's an interesting start to what is supposed to translate to Spider-Man Brand New Day,
Mm,
with the whole DODC being involved in that, with that's apparently who Tremel Tillman's character is going to be playing.
mm,
And we're at first talking about powered people. This started in Miss Marvel. Miss
mhm,
Marvel happens to be a mutant, which is
mhm,
one notable thing. And this superpowered person they're after now. What is this going to be in Spider-Man Brand New Day? And once you start mentioning mutants and mentioning people wanting to prevent them from doing anything,
yeah.
then you get into the whole X-Men mutant
Right.
sentinels of it all. So I feel like this is all building towards something, and I like that they're starting to do that with the whole the Doorman policy, which, by the way, Doorman is a Marvel character, is an actual
Mm,
mutant that
mm.
that apparently I'm gonna guess is gonna appear in this show. So that's exciting for me too. But just in terms of the trailer, I mean, I love the spot for Yaya. This is great
Mhm.
for him. I'm excited for him. And yeah, Trevor Slattery's he's a ball. He's
I,
just
I
he's just
I also
funny as hell.
like when they do work with stuff that is like, how would this affect the real world of Marvel?
Yes.
Like I just like projects like that. Like, yeah, how would superpowered beings affect acting? Like, how would it affect the movies we watch? Because you got to assume that in their world, a Captain America movie isn't as exciting and surreal and, you know, and fantastical as it is to us. Like, they're doing Captain America the Broadway play, you know, like they're like what is exciting in the Marvel world for them in a world of fantastical superheroes and powers, and how does that affect acting? Like, if someone
Yeah.
has superpowers and they're able to get an Oscar, would people be like, I mean, you know, our culture right now, they'd be like, fuck that. Like, oh, so because he can shoot beams out his eyes, he get the Oscar. So yeah, I do want to see this, and this is like a fascinating area to study. And listen, Hollywood loves talking about Hollywood. So like,
Yeah.
I mean, the studio was amazing. I would love a MCU the studio type of
Yeah.
exploration in this world.
Yes, and that's what it seems like. That's what it seems like it is. Like, I think the idea of superhero fatigue being examined in this show, I think, is a perfect example of using the meta aspect of it, and translating it for us watching it on screen. Anything else in this trailer stand out to you, Jake?
No, I think that I like that they're showing his powers, because I think a lot of the trailers obviously were hiding the fact that he has powers, but they're like showing like this is what the conflict is. My honestly one complaint, and this is both a joke but also true, is like
Mm.
I'm so curious who Ed Harris did Joey Pants. I mean, I know what but I just need to see Joey Pants on screen. Like I
Yeah.
do kind of because they the thing, but I say it's partially as a joke, but like looking at like some of the supporting cast that they got on, other than those two, I feel like I'm like I want to see some of those people because like I feel like at the moment, if you show Ed Harris on screen, I think that just signals to the audience, oh, this is a real show. They put real time and energy into it. Not that Ben Kingsley doesn't do that, but I mean, Ben
Right.
Kingsley has been in some bullshit. The man will be in anything for some money. I don't know. That was just like a small complaint, but I'm like, I wanted to. If this is gonna be in a world, I want to see more built out than just these three characters.
Yeah, and we'll see how they do that, and that'll be coming out in a couple of weeks. So we'll be ready to dive into that then. A couple of quick hitters before we go. First, so we have so there was a little bit of fun last week with Monkey Paw Productions and Marvel doing the googly eyes over a report that Jordan Peele would be interested in a Marvel project, and then some of the reports was that Jordan Peele already met with Marvel, and then that's when the Monkey Paw did the googly eyes, and everybody was excited, and then they posted a funny picture of I think it was a vampire movie or something like that, and that was fun in itself. Initially, when that happened, when that news came out, everybody's first inclination and thought was like, just please save the Blade movie. Somebody save the Blade movie. God damn it, Paul Mahershala, get him and Mia Goth back on the screen. Get them somewhere so they can film this Blade movie.
And the thing is, my guess is that he probably meant to do a writer producer role because maybe I'm wrong, but I can't see him signing up to direct an MCU movie at this moment in his career. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe he really just wants to do Blade, and if he does, good for him.
Mhm.
But I could definitely see him basically taking the reins on that project if they'd let him, and then he could, hire a director and write it and direct it. I mean, sorry, and write it and produce it. But I don't know. I mean, I don't know if he wants to do Blade. Blade's the obvious thing because that's like the horror thing that they're trying to get to work. But
Yeah.
like, I don't know if Jordan Peele, like, it would not surprise me if Jordan Peele had like a really esoteric Marvel character he wanted to do something with. Like,
Mhm.
and as much as, I would love for him to save the Blade movie, I think the only way he could save the Blade movie is if he were to direct it. Like, I think if he would just come on to like shepherd it, maybe, I don't think it would really help that much.
I agree with you with that.
Yeah.
I think if he's gonna come on, he's gonna
I
come on.
assumed it had to be directing for like I didn't even want to like you just now made me think like damn, I guess it could have been something else, but
He might be, but like
yeah.
the fact that he's one of, I would say, like 6 or 7 Hollywood directors who can get a budget over $100 million just on their
Right.
name alone. If he would do it, it would be because he really, really wants to do it. Like, he's not. There's a
Right.
lot of directors who would be helped. Like, he would be doing it because he wants to do a Blade movie, not because
Right.
he, yeah.
That's why I got excited was
That's fair. That's fair.
the fact that he don't have to, and he was meeting with them, felt like, hey, this could be something he
Mhm.
wants to do, and
Yeah.
if he wants to do something in the MCU, you just fucking let him do it. Like, I don't like what discussion is there really. It's like, I mean, whatever the fuck he said, and I mean, I don't, I didn't necessarily go with the Blade, but Blade as a horror movie is something that hasn't been done yet, and he does do horror very well, and he does humor very well, so that could be super dope. But yeah, it was just more like a cute thing to me. I don't like they do so many talks and meetings in Hollywood. It's just so early to get excited. I appreciate him teasing the audience with the eye emojis and shit, but like, let me know when y'all got some shit for me to get excited. Don't you dare get my fucking hopes up, bro. If you get my hopes up for this fucking Blade movie, man, man, don't do that.
All I can think about is poor Mahershala on the set of Jurassic. Well, not on the press run of Jurassic World.
Yeah.
Answering questions and being like, "I wish somebody would call me."
Did you see him and Mia Goth were on this red carpet for Critics' Choice?
Yes.
Mahershala, when is that movie going to happen?
Yes. So funny.
You Jordan Peele?
they're both still signed on for the damn movie. So
I
like,
know.
oh my god, like yeah. So like, listen, man, as Jake's video still stands for until that somebody's on a set until they say go. Jake's video from a few years ago still stands as far
It's
as
crazy.
the movie is concerned.
It's come up. It's over 3 years old now, I think, right?
Yes, yeah. Like I gotta go find it. That's how long it's. That's how long it's been since we've been talking about it. So that's a crazy thing in itself.
And for the
And
record, the movie I wanted to see
sure,
Jordan Peele making the MCU before all of this latest round of rumors, I kind of had wanted to see him get X-Men at the time because I was like, that
mhm.
X-Men is scary. If you in the
Mhm.
right hands, X-Men is a fucking scary property, especially with the Sentinels and all
Yeah,
the the being stalked for the things you can't change about yourself and humanity being against you and all the symbolism and all that. I was like, yo, Jordan Peele, I'd like to see him get his hands on that. But this is like maybe 2 or 3 years ago when I was thinking about that.
Mm.
got you. Yeah, yeah. I mean, listen, you get him in the MCU. Period. Like
Yeah.
I'm there. Like I'm very
I
intrigued
mean, I
and
just want to see
excited
his
for
next
that.
movie because he's one of those
Right.
guys who I think even he would admit that he's a little bit kind of stuck with that every movie he makes is a Jordan Peele movie. And I
Yeah.
think that he's so actually honestly, if I was him, I think it would actually be a decently good idea to be like, let me just do a fucking MCU movie so I don't have to
Yeah.
worry about it. Because like I can't imagine the pressure of being like, I
Yeah,
have to come up with an original idea. Like I'll be
Hmm.
honest, I fucking hate the way that people talk about, especially newer directors today, where it's like he's 2 for 3. It's like, what the fuck are you talking about? Like, art
Hmm.
doesn't work that way. Like, if every movie you make has to be a home run, unless like it's mid or whatever, it's like if 95% of
yeah,
directors made Us or whatever, it would be one
Right.
of the best movies ever. Like, I just hate the way people are like, oh, he's 2 for 3. It's like, no, he made
Mm.
3 good movies. I think he made 2 masterpieces, but like
Hmm.
he's 2 for 3. Fuck off. I'm thinking of
What's the
specific
what's the
people.
one? So Us is the one that they don't count,
Yeah,
or
yeah. Us is the
oh
one that they
yeah.
don't
wow,
count.
oh I
I mean,
didn't know
I
that.
think Nope is. I mean,
Yeah.
I think for me, Nope, in
Nope is
terms
great.
of
I like Nope
the
a lot.
No,
Nope is the
Nope
one that
was the
sticks with
one
me.
that I did when I watched it. I didn't think it was good, and then I just kept thinking about it. And
That's
the
what I was gonna
more
say.
I
You
thought
think
about it,
about
the
it,
more I was like, "Oh, this motherfucker right here is different." Like he
and
he one of them ones.
it comes it's come
Yeah,
up so much in the
yeah,
past, like the fact like it's a movie about the way that we turn trauma into spectacle, and it's like
Yes.
yes,
every single day since I sat in that theater, it's been like, yeah, like because I think that obviously Get Out has a lot of great social commentary. Us,
Yeah.
I think, is getting at social commentary, but it has
Right.
like metaphor collapse where like it doesn't know how to end that. But like
Right.
Nope is like, oh yeah, this is like a defining work about one of the sicknesses of our time with our phones and our cameras. It's like, yeah, like if there was
Yeah.
a fucking alien
hmm
that was eating people, we would turn it into content.
Yeah.
Yeah, shout out to Jordan Peele.
That's he the
no,
man.
1000%.
But yeah,
Yeah, he's
absolutely. I'm with you, Jake. I think he might even be tired of the Jordan Peeling of Jordan Peele, of people trying to like peel back the layers to everything. I still remember him doing like interviews and stuff, and he had got to a point where there were so many fucking theories on his movies that he was just like, well, if that's what people get from it. And I was like, yeah, you gotta be over it. Like you gotta be over it at some point because sometimes you just make a weird directing choice because you think it'd be cool on camera, and then someone's like, and then she was eating a cereal like that because white
Mhm.
people and black people, and he's like, sure, if that's how you, yes, that is correct, if that is how you feel. I was like, oh,
Yeah, I love that. Actually, I
he's
saw the interview
tired.
where he was like, no, I love when I actually saw an interview, he was like, no, I thought that'd be a creepy way for her to eat cereal.
Yes, I
Like,
saw that, yeah, and I was like, yeah, he's been saying yes because he's just like, yeah, sure, like whatever you
yeah,
took from it, I'm not gonna argue with you guys, but
yeah.
yeah, that has
At
to
some
be
point, it's
killing
like,
him at this point, right?
yeah, yeah.
oh my goodness. Oh man. So the
I'm sorry,
final
I'm sorry,
thing.
I'm sorry. One last thing.
No, no, go
I
ahead.
just
No, go ahead.
imagine
Please, please. I'm always
I
letting you go.
imagine
Yeah.
everywhere Jordan Peele goes, he has like the creepy, weird type of fan who's
Mhm.
like I understand you in a way that no one, like
No one
everywhere he
else
goes, there's a
does.
guy who's just like
Yes.
Robert De Niro in The Fan, like who's just a
Mhm.
stalker level
Mhm.
obsession with his movies, and I know he has to be tired of that shit,
Can I ask you a question though? How the fuck did Robert De Niro get into the Umpire outfit in The Fan? How did he
right?
do that?
I don't.
How did
That's a
that
plot
happen?
hole. That's a plot hole.
How did he do that?
Oh, man. Shout out to our friends at Cinephobe for the fan episode. That was a good one back in the early aughts of Cinephobe. Yeah, but yeah, Jordan Peele, man, we'll see what happens with him. We'll see what goes on if he gets involved with anything in the near future. The final thing to discuss this evening is the news that apparently Sebastian Stan is going to be in the Batman 2. And that, folks, is intriguing on a lot of levels. One, for the Batman 2 itself. The second, I got my eyes on that little death pool I'm creating for Avengers Doomsday, and I'd say Sebastian Stan, Bucky Barnes might be in a little trouble.
Can I give a take? So Sebastian Stan is someone who I think has been, of the MCU actors, has been actually like really, really good at using his star power from the MCU to make really interesting small films. Like I love the Apprentice movie. I know people have problems with making movies about Donald Trump. I thought A Different Man is incredible, and that's a movie that only got made because there's Sebastian Stan in it. He's like made a bunch of like independent movies in like fucking Romania or whatever. Like he's one of those guys that's like, I'll do these big movies. And like he's been in every phase. You're like, Rod, you can't accuse him of being like Runaway. He's been in everything, you know?
Everywhere.
And he shows up and he's like, I'm gonna use the clout I get from the MCU movies to make movies that I find interesting, and I respect that so much. And I think what goes to your theory, AC, is that if he dies in Doomsday, he's like, I gotta make sure that my name is still famous, and so I gotta join another franchise so I can keep making small movies.
What's so interesting, he had done an interview, I want to say like 5 or 6 months ago, where I saw him talk about, like, this has been such a great time. I've enjoyed it so much, but I feel like I'm getting to the point where, and it wasn't a but, he said, I feel like I'm getting to the point where it's going to be time for me to do other different things too. So once he said that, I was like, okay, like this feels like this is about to be the end. Because to your point, Jake, he's been in since the very beginning.
Think about AC. Think about where your life was at in 2011.
Yo! That's crazy. We're in 2026, 15 years.
Yeah. I was a freshman in high school when he started playing Bucky Barnes. he's been, so like I can't blame him at all. He's been in every phase. He's been there the whole time.
And he's only getting
went to the Heat that year. Oh my gosh!
And he's gotten to that point where you just put him in the makeup and the arm, and he is that character. And I mean, he was a very stabilizing force that legitimized the new Avengers. You know, like he's that guy now. He's that steady. He's that solid. He's the best part of the Captain America. Yeah, he's the best part of the Captain America Sam Wilson movie. Is that 5 minutes with him is my audience was interested for 5 more minutes, way past they had not been interested. Like it was like, oh, wait a minute, is he gonna do something? And I'm like, okay, yeah, like he's one of them ones. So I do wonder if I think Jake's idea of him going to another place so he can feed his indie bug, that makes a lot of sense.
Oh, if anyone hasn't seen A Different Man, that movie he's incredible in it. He's one of those guys where it's like, I'm excited to see what he does for the rest of his career, because he started out as like a somewhat interesting actor, but now he's like one of the most interesting actors in Hollywood. And so
and just speaking for the Batman 2 itself, I know a lot of people have been saying Harvey Dent is the character, and if that's the case, hey, I'm down for it. I think Matt Reeves, let me tell you, Matt Reeves,
but
no matter what James Gunn has tried,
can he be better than the Two-Face we've already seen? I mean, we all watched Batman forever. Oh no,
Tommy Lee Jones.
Tommy Lee Jones. We all watched, I think, the most iconic Two-Face that we've ever seen. I don't. Those are big shoes to fill, man.
With a
they're different colored shoes to fill.
Throw in a thermos of acid. With Batman in court.
Hey, what if he ruined the film because he basically just do a Tommy Lee Jones impression? Like he be in that Matt Reeves film, hamming it up, man. Oh my god,
I would love to see such an incredible Zag, because his whole vibe is he's very like subdued, he's calm, like that's his vibe as an actor. And he's like, no, I'm gonna. You know actually what happened? He's like, I played Trump and it broke me. I only can go big now.
Yeah, that motherfucker was talking to Robert Pattinson like, "What are we gonna do now, Brucey?" I think I would piss myself.
Yeah. I mean, once again, it's a Zag. It will be a Zag. But I don't know. But whoever they want him to play, like, and the thing with him being Harvey Dent, if they do make him Harvey Dent, I hope that he doesn't become Two-Face for a while. Like, I don't need it to be a Two-Face movie again, especially because we're hearing that the Joker's coming back.
Yes.
Yeah.
ScarJo's in this movie too, so like there's a.
Yeah.
Let me tell you, Matt Reeves in his choices.
Hey.
I want to say this about Matt Reeves. He does not give a shit about whatever James Gunn is doing with his Batman.
He don't.
He says, I'm making my universe and I'm making it the best thing possible.
They clearly do
it.
not. They clearly had one discussion and have never had a discussion since.
They have a Cold War. There's a Cold War going on between them two.
Like,
it's just not publicized.
James Gunn and him met, and he was like, James is like, so you're probably wondering if you're gonna be in my universe or whatever. And he's like, oh no, I'm not wondering. Not at all. I haven't even considered that, and I'm not thinking about it at all. So do whatever you need to do.
He's absolutely not, and I love that. I love that for him because I think what they've been able to build out with the first Batman movie and the Penguin, which was incredible, and what they're gonna do with this, I'm excited to see what they got going forward. And adding Sebastian Stan to that list is just tremendous. And
James Gunn pulls out a list of actors he considered for Batman, and then Matt Reeves was like, it don't matter. I thought about going with it don't. I don't even need to see the list. It has nothing to do with what I'm doing. So just good luck to you.
Basically, he's like, I'm gonna make a better Batman movie than you ever could even dream of. Yeah. And I love that attitude. I love that attitude from him. It's great. It's great. So we'll see what happens with Sebastian Stan, what he's doing with the Batman, what he's doing with Avengers Doomsday. This has been a fun show. Fun to be back. Appreciate our pal Rod for joining us once again, brother. As always, where can we find you and your wonderful podcast, which is anniversary today?
16 years, baby.
Yeah, 16 years today. Thanks, fellas. I appreciate y'all, man. Yeah, you can find us theblackouttips.com. If you got Patreon, the Blackout Tips, our Patreon is over there, and we just added commercial-free episodes over there now. So if you want to hear episodes with no ads, that's one way to get them. And yeah, man, thanks for having me, and I always appreciate hopping on with you guys. Very fun.
1000%, and appreciate you too, sir. Jake, where can we find you, my friend?
You can find me on Twitter at the J Christie, on TikTok at the J Christie, do the Museum of Twitter. New tweet every single day. I'm trying to get some more. I'm trying to do a new era of a lot more fun, cool guests. I just told you guys, you know what's coming next tomorrow.
Yes.
But yeah, I have some exciting stuff in the hopper for people to bring it on in 2026. Because if you're like Jake, how can you still be doing a series about tweets every single day? And it's like, you have no fucking clue. You don't even know how long I can do this show for. The length of time I could do this show for is frankly embarrassing. Anyway, I'm gonna stop talking before I keep saying nonsense.
He can reach into that bag, and there is no end.
But there's just no end.
There's no end to it. There's just no end to it at all. So make sure you check out Jake on the TikTok. You can follow me on Twitter at AnthonyCanton_3. Follow the show on all platforms at MC University Pod. Subscribe to the YouTube channel. Subscribe to the Patreon. All that good stuff. Thank you for listening and watching and supporting and all those wonderful things. And we will be back next week with a wonderful episode of Marvel Cinematic University. For Rod and Jake, this is AC. We will talk to you next time.